Being awarded the scholarship was absolutely instrumental, like 80% instrumental in what I was able to do and achieve over the next 20 years. It was an extraordinary moment in 2002. We had September 11, then we had Bali 1. You had the reactivation of strategic study postgraduate courses. The Arab and Islamic study courses at ANU expanded as well, as everyone really focused on political Islam, Islam that was going into warfare. The Australian Federal Police hugely expanded their operations. They established a counter-terrorism unit that didn't exist until late 2002. I was able to tap into all of that, and it was the Hawker Scholarship, and it was because it was ANU. The credibility factor was enormous. It was never questioned.
The opportunities for mature age students, you were 43. Talk to me about how old you were and what opportunities the scholarship provides for older, mature age students.
I was actually in my mid-40s, and I was in a situation where I needed to redefine my employment capabilities and opportunities. And when I asked around, and I had been in one institution, the ABC, for 25 years, they said, if you're going to attempt to reinvent yourself at your age, they said, you need to have a postgraduate degree, and if you're going to do that, make sure it's got the initials ANU after it. In that sense, being able to do that, and what you were able to tap into, the depth of information, the contacts, was absolutely critical. Everything was on a mature-based sort of environment. It was fabulous.
What are your memories of the opportunities that were offered at Burgmann because you were a senior, much older than the 18, 20-year-olds who were there? How was that interaction? What are your memories of that?
I absolutely loved being at Burgmann, at the college there. It was there was the actual course, and I remember I would walk across the parklands to attend classes, and every day I'm just thinking, it doesn't get better than this. What I'm going to do for the next 10, 12 hours is going to be fascinating and illuminating. And then within the environment of Burgmann College, you had all this wonderful youthful enthusiasm around you, and it rubbed off, And there were wonderful moments as well when it became apparent what my experience was in security issues and that. There were a number of occasions where at 11 at night there would be a knock on my door, and there'd be a group of undergraduates going, "Oh, we've got an assignment. Could we discuss it with you?" I'm going, "Sure." And I had a whiteboard in my room, and they'd come in, and I'd say, break it down and go, "Okay, what are the elements here? What's being asked? Okay, what's here?" And we'd go through it all, and we'd discuss it, and go, "Okay, you've probably got about 7 planes here you need to address." And they go, "Oh, that's great. Thanks very much." And I go, "Oh, and when's your assignment due?" And they go, "Oh, 11 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow."
The networking opportunities that were provided by being a mature age student at Burgmann and at ANU, what were those as a result of being awarded the scholarship?
There was a real credibility factor when I started putting the feelers out. Started getting separate from my TV background. When you actually said that I was a Hawker Scholar recipient, people went, There was a real awareness, they don't hand those things out willy-nilly. And so there was a real credibility factor there. And what happened very quickly was I wrote some papers which ended up on the desk of the Australian Federal Police. And they came back and said, 1, we didn't know this. 2, we're very interested in this. And then when they were going to establish a training school in the AFP, a counter-terrorism training school, They came back to me.
So it's one step after another, isn't it? I mean, if you hadn't got the scholarship, you wouldn't have got involved to the level that you did to do with the the Federal Police, and then the step from there was
Oh, absolutely.
the rest of your career, or the career for some time.
No, absolutely. It was critical. The scholarship were the keys to the car. You know, without that, you're not going anywhere. You know, and I'm, to this day, immensely thankful.
Message to the trustees, Mr. Harley?
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for making that decision to give me the scholarship. You know, and it showed a maturity of the trustees that what we're looking at, what the world was in 2002. You know, being able to do that postgraduate, the subject matters and what it was. You know, it was critical. Like the timing. You know, and the understanding that the trustees showed their own political and cultural and geographical awareness of what was going on in the world, you know, well, you know, that says a lot about the trustees. Mm. Would I encourage other mature age students to undertake something what I did or, you know, similar? Absolutely. You know, it was a glorious reinvention, you know, and you just, you know, there was never a moment's hesitation. I've never have looked back in the last 23 years and gone, well, I don't know if that was really worth it or anything. No, absolutely not. You know, and you know, if you can do it, you know, and you've got a family that can support you, absolutely.